Audhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome everyone to another session of VOTP. So for our new audience, just a reminder of what is VOTP. VOTP stands for Voice of the People. And VOTP was started after October the 7th, 2023. And the whole purpose of VOTP is to make each and every one of us realize our potential, the power in our voice, the power in our actions, to make ourselves accountable to what we are doing each and every moment of the life, as well as to demand accountability from our leaders as well. And as a part of VOTP, we are, devoted to empowering each and every individual. And so we have the platform called Find Your Truth. Please check out our platform, findyourtruth.net. Here we help each and every one of us find the gaps where we have in our own growth, and we help you bridge those gaps. Today, as a part of our awareness against one of the important evils in our society, which is Riba, we have a talk by Brother Waqas Ahmed. And by Brother Waqas is very, very passionate about this topic. He is an amateur researcher and has gone in immense depths to understand the current financial system, the concept of Riba, the presence of Riba everywhere, from our homes to the halls of power. And he has also done a lot of research in the solutions which Islam offers. So today we would want to hear from Brother Waqas, and our topic is very, very exciting. From our homes to the halls of power, the struggle against Riba. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us understand this problem, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us come up with the solution to this problem, inshallah. So Brother Waqas, go ahead and Bismillah kare.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Farhana. Nahmaduhu nusalli ala rasulil kareem. Amma ba'd. Fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. Wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ameen ya rabbal alamin. First of all, yes, we have to understand why we are here. It is first and foremost thing to understand and to note in our minds, in our hearts, that why we are here. We are here to understand not only Riba, its shades, its complexities, but also how it is affecting our homes, our societies, our governments, our state, and then again, the entire world. So it's a very, very sensitive topic, and it deals with not only with our current situation in this world, but also in our akhirah. So I hope that we all will be pay attention to all lines and all slides. And inshallah, since these sessions are being recorded, so we again go back to the slides and come up with questions, and I will try my best to give answers. So again, as Brother Wajid last week, he talked about dreams. He talked about missions and what I call goals and objectives, maybe whatever deems fit. But yeah, our dream is, number one, family-wise, to get rid of Riba from our personal and family lives. So again, if I divide dreams into two levels, my personal and my family dreams, and again, family becomes society, we know that. But still again, if we are doing very little in societies, then at least we should do something for ourselves and for our immediate family members, or maybe extended family members. So again, to get rid of Riba from our personal and family lives, and for this, again, we have to understand and we have to know every shade of Riba. And secondly, society-wise, which is collectively or politically, whatever you may want to call, that banking Riba system should be abolished, or in a single, or like a you can say like a slogan, abolish banking Riba system, or banking Riba system abolished. So these two dreams we have, and to pursue those dreams and pursue those goals, we are here to understand Riba, its all shades and complexities, and to learn in that way, that so that we can communicate to others too. So again, in yellow, when I was preparing slides, I was thinking that the yellow words, the yellow lines should be memorized and should be learned very categorically. We should know the ethical perspective of Riba, because when we talk with non-Muslims or maybe liberals, seculars in our Muslim societies, we have to not only we have to give them the injunctions of Quran and Sunnah, but maybe they are not impressed, though they are Muslims. But sometimes we know that in our societies there are a lot of shades of human minds too. So sometimes they do not buy those things, and sometimes they just um, use certain jargons or words that okay, Islam doesn't want um, um, or you can say the ulama tabqa does not know about riba. We know about riba, and they iterate
So
those words.
चलो अब दाढ़ी तो बाद में अहवाल सुनाओ.
So they always talk. They sometimes talk wayward concepts. So again, we must tell them the ethical perspective of riba. So ethical perspective is capitalism by its nature rewards capital ownership. This creates a self-reinforcing cycle that widens the wealth gap. So again, the rival of Islamic system is right now currently in this world is capitalism, liberal capitalism. So we must say to those people who are proponent of capitalism that capitalism by nature rewards capital ownership, and this creates a self-reinforcing cycle that widens the wealth gap. And to enforce this statement, we must know the system is structurally geared to ensure that those who already have wealth can acquire more of it more easily than those who only have their labor to sell. So again, these points will come in later slides, but I want to reiterate and re-emphasize that to balance between capital and labor, it's very important that rules of the games are good. Rules of the games are just. Bullet point number 2, it is due to the fact that current system is not balancing the rule or not giving the law the right importance to labor, and it's not able to balance labor with the capital. I'm talking about the current system. So we should have deeper perspective, and as educated people, we all are here quite educated, doing businesses, or most of us are well employed at good positions. So our responsibilities are above and beyond of what ordinary people could learn or think. So we should be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we can communicate and we can understand the deeper thoughts and deeper perspectives about riba. So modern system creating us the modern capitalist system is creating a bias that overly favor capital compared to the labor, hence giving too much power to top 0.1%, producing continuously growing inequality and poverty. And remember, both extremes are wreaking crimes, legal and social injustices, and domestic problems. So, whenever we talk to our brothers who do not understand riba, who who think that current system is okay and it's doing fine and it's giving opportunities to everyone, and it's a US and UK liberal capitalism which gives opportunities to everyone. So in behind all those good remarks and glamorous jargons, we must tell them that this system is not equating or balancing capital and the labor. So that is why Islam considers interest extremely vile and synonymous with waging war against Allah and His Messenger. So it is not merely an economic issue, but for us, for Muslims, it's a matter of faith and disbelief too. What does it mean? Okay, while talking with our counterparts or while debating, we might sometimes we are not able to bring Quran and Sunnah sometimes. But still we have all secular knowledge, all logical and rational knowledge to communicate and to give arguments to our debaters. So the Islamic perspective is, again, I will request all of my listeners to learn these 3 words at least: justice, partnership, and risk. The Islamic viewpoint is entirely different from Western economic ideologies and systems, and clearly distinguishes profit from usury loans, with profit on risk sharing investments. And I want to stay here. one more time, and I want to repeat it one more time, that the philosophies, all Western philosophies regarding economics, they blur sometimes the profit from interest. I mean, profit from loans, which is interest. In Islam, usually you can say, we must say, because there is no distinction between usury and interest. Both are the same thing. But Islam clearly distinguishes and separates profit from risk-sharing investments and interest. What Western thoughts call the profit from lending. So these two are two entirely separate things. Islam permits investments and profit from those investments, but confines it with the specific framework of justice and partnership. That's why I underlined it. The justice and partnership is the key word here, along with the risk. Because when we talk about partnership, it's the partnership in profit and also in losses. So again, partnership doesn't mean that only when you earn something and when you get profit, I will become the partner. And when somebody in the partnership, someone get loss, so one partner says that, okay, no, I am not involved in those losses. So it is unjust, and also unethical and immoral, entirely immoral. So we have to take complete discourse in terms of justice, morality, and ethics. So interest, which is riba, is forbidden. Interest is declared forbidden, haram in Islam. Interest is a fixed amount. Okay, we are not talking in detail, but still just defining a few words about interest. That it's a fixed amount that becomes due based on a loan, regardless of whether the borrower business makes a profit or a loss. This is utter injustice. For the borrower, if they incur a loss, they still have to pay interest, which increase their losses. For the lender, they obtain a certain and fixed profit without any effort, risk, or partnership. So I'm reiterating and emphasizing again and again a few words like effort, risk, partnership, justice. So again, when these slides will be uploaded on VOTP platform, you can go back again and learn those words and the perspective behind those words. So Islam gives in replacement of lending and taking interest from those lending, Islam gives other tools, other products, which is musharaka and mudarba. So here the investor also shares the risk of the business. If the business incur a loss, the investor's capital can also be lost. But in case if an investor is mixing its work or its business with a labor will also lose his labor time. So it's not like that the only loss is being incurred by the capitalist, but also labor is losing its time too. The time he spends on that business venture, on business avenue. So the whole of his labor will be lost, but he is not to pay any extra amount in cash or in kind. This is the injustice, that when the capitalist or the investor says that, okay, no, I want further amount from the laborer, and who is laborer? Anybody, a software engineer can be laborer, or a so labor means any kind of labor which is intellectually, or education, in terms of education, in terms of intellectualism, in terms of any mind work or body work, we can say. So this is to be understood very clearly, that it's not like that only Islam wants only capitalists or investor or the person who has money to bear losses. If you understand ethically and morally, the laborer is already getting losses because he has spent some time on those business ventures and project. So we should understand that thing, that he is also in loss. So from the perspective of capitalist, or the wealthy person, or the person who is investing money in the business, it is the risk that legitimizes their profit. So this is the catch word or catch sentence. It is the risk that legitimizes their profit. So again, wealth accumulation is not bad, but wealth accumulation is if wealth is being accumulated through legitimized profits after taking all the risks and after going through all the risks. If a person getting money from the business, it's very moral, it's ethical, and Islam doesn't have any issue with that profit. So Islam wants, not only wants, he orders abolition of riba. And again, few sentences are really good here, and we must learn those sentences to give dawah. Abolition of interest, the end of automatic concentration of capital. Again and again, abolition of interest automatically ends the concentration of capital. Because if a capitalist loses some money, it automatically minuses the money from its wealth, and that wealth is already distributed among all the other people with whom he has done business. So it automatically reduces wealth from the wealthy people. But since in current system, they have mortgages and they have backings and they have collaterals. In any case, they extract money from the borrower, which is really, really exploitative. So we have to understand this Islam, or by abolishing the riba, the interest, automatically ends concentration of capitalism, of capital. The snowball effect will end. Passive income, which is the interest earned from lending, upward pulls wealth upwards and creates a snowball effect. The abolition of interest closes this automatic, effort-free and risk-free path to profit. So just imagine how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from his Al-Hakim, the property of Al-Hakim, all-knowing and Al-Alim and Al-Hakim, he has made some rules which is only could be made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That he abolished riba, and from that rule and guideline and order or injunction, he discouraged concentration of capital. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't completely eliminated the concentration of wealth, because if there is no concentration of capital or wealth, how come we can give zakah? Zakat can only be given when there is some concentration of wealth, some accumulation of wealth. But okay, the word concentration means the over accumulation of capital. So we can say that riba, the abolition of riba, automatically stops the concentration of wealth and capital. So capital becomes productive. And this point means that once riba is abolished, capital automatically becomes productive. The money of the rich will have to be invested in the real economy instead of being deposited in banks or in bonds or securities to earn interest like parasite. So it will have to be partnered with some business, industry or real project. This means that creating wealth will create employment, produce goods, and increase economic activity. This is the byproducts. Once you abolish riba, these good things will automatically come into the action. Benefit and the risk for the investor, they will get profit, but they will also be exposed to the risk of loss. This will curb the unbalanced growth of wealth, as I mentioned earlier. Now come to struggle of households and consumer. People are in this forum, in this today's presentation. We all are individuals with families, and we also have struggles and problems with how with debts and interest payments. So some slides regarding consumer debt and household debt issues. So what they do, what the banking business is doing, they are alluring us. They are giving us false promises that modern financial system offer easy credit as a path to home ownership, education, a comfortable lifestyle, managing emergencies. So it sold us dream of immediate gratification and upward mobility. But the harsh reality is that it is exploitative. It exploit low and stagnant wages, because the system already giving very low wages to the workers and the blue collar people. So they automatically tends towards taking credit cards and buying stuff. And this is not only happening for blue collar people, even white collar people, even middle class people like you and me. We are also being trapped in false promises. For millions, that promise has soared. The dream has been replaced by the endless cycle of minimum payments, crushing anxiety and stress, energy drained from purpose to survival. And I must say here that many people who are sitting here, or many people we know, they always tell you that no, Mr. Waqas, no, Miss Farana and Mr. Farida, that we can pay our debts and we can pay our monthly charges on credit cards in time. So we do not have any issue. No, you are part of that heinous system. You are supporting that banking industry, which is exploitative not for you but for millions. So we have to understand the game. So we have to understand the mechanism of exploitation. High interest rates, often 20 to 30% annual percentage rate, far higher than any productive investment return. The game of minimum payments, fee and penalties. The result, the perpetual transfer of wealth from your household to the financial sector. So again, the yellow or orange words, even if you are paying balances and interest successfully, you are part of the heinous exploitative system. No matter big, small, or tiny, you are supporting the terrible, abhorrent banking system. So beware. I'm not talking about here the injunction of Quran and Sunnah, what they say about being involved in riba. Condemnation and you can say the far from the mercy of Allah. The people who take riba or give riba or write down the riba, calculate riba, make agreements, riba-based agreements. They help in making riba-based agreements. They all are damned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the system, this is a systemic problem. This is not, and it is by design. It's not like that that the makers of system was trying something else and something else has been made. No, it is by design. This isn't an accident. The financial industry profits from perpetual debt. This influence shapes government policies and deregulation. Again, too much power and too much corruption. Now they are buying limousines and buying Bugattis and Mercedes. Once they have those things and items, they start buying parliaments, judges, maybe the entire, you can say the entire committees, gun committee or anti a committee which was made against credit card system. The credit card industry buys that committee. If some committee is against deregulation and wants to regulate banking industry in good faith, they are buying that committee. So too much money is always too dangerous for this world. So why we are making or supporting and promoting that system which is too much supportive of 0.1% of this world, that becomes, I think, 600,000 people. If population is if population is 6 billion or 7 billion, then it is 700,000 people in this world who is controlling the entire economy, politics, and society. So it is very dangerous, and we should not become part of that system. So the modern way out, personal liberation. How can we take back control? Awareness. That's what we are doing here right now. Understand the true nature of the system as we are doing today. Community. What community can do? Share knowledge. The VOTP community is doing that. The Find Your Truth community is doing that. So don't sit idle. Organize events, share knowledge, give dawa. Practical steps, which I can write here. Create budgets. Your family budget, your home budget, your domestic budget should be within your limits and reach. If you are already in debt, prioritize debt repayment and seek ethical financial alternatives where possible. And again, I will research further what companies in UK, and you people are in better vantage points who are sitting in UK and US, that what different companies offering you pure Sharia based products and economic finances, I should say. So we need shift in the mindset from consumer become creator or service provider maybe, or from borrower to saver or investor. So the vision of a vision for a just financial system, what we are struggling for, an ethical system which finance serve the real economy. We want a system in which finances doesn't lend money, sitting idle, doing nothing, taking no risks, and getting profits, which in Islam we call it usury and riba. So we want finances serve the real economy. They should create and produce new services and new products. If lending is necessary, it should be without interest. It should be asset backed. Risk sharing should be the order of the day. Should be purpose driven. Should be invested in good things, moral things. Capital flows towards productive enterprise, not speculative extractions. Dignity is important. Prevent the exploitation of the vulnerable. We downtrodden people and low societies, low class people, we should offer them uh, qarz hasana without interest loans and without any extra charges, which is haram in Islam. So why we are extracting money from every person in this world? And if we do this, we will automatically protecting state institutions and society from greedy, super rich, and powerful people. I already told you, too much money always creates very suspicious things in minds, and people tends to go towards buying. They feel that they can buy anything, and that wreaks havoc for society. Some people will say they're okay, we should keep this system and this interest full system, and whatever the percentage is, whatever the banking system is offering the interest rates, we should keep this system, and we should start having higher taxes for wealthy people. that's that's a real fake dream. What should I say? Because in past 70, 80, or 100 years, all schemes, all efforts to tax super rich has been failed. Why? Because again, legislation have to be made, and that legislative body, they have so much influence of super rich on them, so they get influenced by super rich. Or maybe you can say super rich are the part of that committees who make those laws and bills. So it is near impossible. And here you can salute, or you can bow down, you can say in sujood and ruku in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He has made a system in which the money will not come in the hand of rich when any loss incurs. It automatically goes to the society. He will get nothing, and he automatically reduces his wealth, and the income inequality and wealth inequality become rational. It will not be insane and obscene. So again, we bow down in front of Allah that He has abolished the riba, and by doing that, once a loss is incurred, money automatically goes away from the super rich. Islam wants just to act ethically, morally, by accepting losses in the business, projects, and endeavors. It's not like that, no, first give me riba and then tax me. Those efforts have proven that we are in fool's paradise. The Islamic solution directly attacks problem of wealth concentration and unnatural inequality. And I purposefully wrote that unnatural word because Islam cannot, or neither Allah wants that inequality is 100% eliminated from society. It is not possible. But the unnatural, insane inequality can be achieved by abolishing riba and by obviously giving zakat, which is also a way of redistribution. And both things, abolishing riba and giving zakah, both will boost broad-based growth. And again, I highlighted it with orange color because it's a proven economic theory, economic you can say guideline, that if you give money to people, they always will spend those money, and more people have more money, especially lower class, lower middle class. If they have money, they automatically will spend more money, and that will boost the economy, and economy gets better. So we have to understand that it's not like if we stop the wages, if we freeze the wages, it will be good for the profits. No, if you give wages to the labor, blue collar people, they will automatically spend those money. They will not save those money. They will spend that money in education, in health, in well-being of their families, and it automatically boosts the economy. So we have to be transparent, open up, morally good people. So again, a few last slides. We have to join a movement, reclaim your power, reclaim your future. This is not just about personal finance, it's a struggle for justice. Your awareness is the first step towards liberation. Your voice can help build more ethical and just system for all. Let's build a future free from usury, interest, and debt trap. Again, zakah, Islam gave us tools of zakah. Islam has given us tool of sadaqah, voluntary charity. And again, the orange line, the interest-free loans with proper agreements from sadaqah amount. We can follow that model too. And in Pakistan, we have Akhwat Foundation, which is taking sadaqah from people, but managing those wealth in giving interest-free loans to poor people and middle-class people, or lower middle-class people. Again, we have to be open and very transparent. Our hearts should be transparent to write off the loans whenever we see that someone is not able to give back the loans. The entire Islamic history, entire Islamic guideline and the wisdom always told us that always try to write off or forgive loans. So we should not forget that guideline too. These tools work automatically to reduce wealth inequality and build a social safety net. So the last slide before we will go to the question answer session, that I was thinking just before starting this presentation, I made this slide that to give something to you, a pattern. That's if when you start discussing about riba, about economic system, about Islamic economic system, you can start like this, that interest is abolished in Islam. He will say why? Because then you can say, because this rule or law is unjust, unethical, and immoral. He or she will immediately ask, how come? You can see the entire Western progress and scientific advancement. How come? You can tell because it is not based on risk sharing and partnership, and it undermined labor. It's passive income. It's rentierism, and rentierism is a word you can often see in the liberal Western economists. Obviously, they will not talk about usury, but they will use word rentierism, and it also includes the rent on the money. But somehow I don't know why, maybe afraid from um, Jewish community, or maybe Zionist people, they use the word rentierism, which is what? Which is taking rent on the money also from properties, from trademarks, from intellectual property. And some of the rent is halal in Islam. I'm not going into Sharia topics. Some of the rent is halal in Islam, but the Western economists, They include interest-based income under the umbrella of rentierism. So he will say, so what? So you can say huge inequality, poverty at one side, and too much wealth and power at other side. And power tends to corruption, crime, social unrest, domestic violence, whatever you want to call it, health issues, mental issues. We have learned all those things in our last presentation. So he may say, he or she may say or might say that taxation is the solution. So then you have to say, sorry, Islam want wealth to be distributed automatically as quickly as possible. I mean as much and as quickly as possible. Otherwise, people make ways of evasions, and once money comes in hand, it affects human behavior. We all know, Sister Farhana and Sister Farida, that once money comes into the hand, people very easily, the mind and brain very easily make ways, evasion techniques, uh, foreign accounts, and the tax havens, the islands, investing properties on far-flung islands. So there are a lot of ways to evade taxation. So Islam wants that once you incur loss, you immediately lose money, and that money automatically comes and distributed into the society. Because, for example, you have bought a chicken farm, and something happens to that chicken farm, then you will lose the money. But from whoever you have bought cages, you have bought chickens, you have bought different food items for chicken, you already paid that money. So that money is already is in the society, but you have lost the money. So it automatically reduces the wealth gap. So it's quite understandable and quite rational. So again, we are here to learn, understand, uh, to have deeper perspective, deeper arguments, to debate or to convince our counterpart, or the people who are against Islamic system, or people who are the proponent of riba, and they think that it is very important, very necessary for the society. So you have the rational arguments to convince them. And obviously, for Muslims, we must not forget what Quran and Ahadith of Prophet peace be upon him tells us. From this slide, I am here open to question and answer session. Wa akhir duwana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.
Jazakallah khairan, Brother Waqas, for a very, I think, very concise summary of the entire, topic of usury, and I think it helped us have this proper arguments as well, which I think is going to be very beneficial for each and every member who is here to, take this movement forward, inshallah.